Boom. Hello. Welcome to the Model 10 in our 10-day series. This is a magnificent 10-day series in our web design and digital marketing boot camp. We've been doing this for the past 10 days now, and this is the last day. I'm so excited because I know that you'll be loaded with so much information, so much knowledge, and I believe you're ready to hit the road running. Alright, so today's class is going to put icing on the whole cake. I mean, everything we've been working on from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, up to the 10th day, the 10 model. So it's going to put everything together and put steroids on your steps so as to help you go execute and begin to achieve mind-blowing results. All right, so today we're going to be talking about closing, yeah, because the essence of your presenting your services and doing your marketing is closing. Without the close, there is no sale. Without the sale, there is no income, right? So we're going to be talking about closing, sales system, and scaling your digital agency. And I'm going to be giving to you the Mindware Consulting framework. Right? You got it right. I've always said in this program, I don't teach what I don't do. I teach what I do. I teach proven principles and practices that have delivered desired results. All right. And I teach it confidently because I know that if you go and apply it, right, the right way, the right amount of energy, given the right amount of time, commitment, you are going to produce the same result. All right. So this is the Mindware blueprint that you are getting in today's class. All right. So how to confidently close high value clients. So we're going to be looking into how you can confidently close high value clients. All right. High value. Okay. Build repeatable sales system and grow your business beyond just freelancing. All right. Like I said, this is the Mindware way. This is how we do it at Mindware. Okay. So you don't just want to be a web designer or graphic designer or video editor or whatever it is, a freelancer. No, you want to build systems and own those systems that bring repeatable results. Are you getting it now? So that's the game changer for you and for your business. All right. Someone said, if you do something once, it can be regarded as a miracle or perhaps a mistake. All right. But if you are able to repeat that thing you have done over and over again, then it becomes a system. All right. It becomes a system that you can actually hand over to someone. And that's what's actually going on here. We built a system that is producing results on a consistent basis. And what we're doing is handing it to you. All right. So why is this model important? Sales, closing, building systems. Why is it important? It is important because we want you to succeed in this business. I want you to succeed in this, your digital business. All right? And the reason many people succeed is not just because they have a skill. Hello? So let me put it another way. The reason many people fail is not because of lack of skill. The reason many people succeed is not because they have a skill. Are you getting this now? The reason many fail is because they cannot close consistently. I said closing is the end game. It's not in the selling, it's not in the presentation, but it is in the closing. That's what we're talking about, closing. So you're going to be learning how to close, and close like a pro. Close like a pro. Get the flow. Alright, they can't close consistently. Secondly, they are unable to price confidently. Come on here. If you are offering value that can transform someone's life, that can help grow their business, help them bring in revenue on a consistent basis, come on, man. You've got to be confident to say, this is what I charge. Alright? So they don't price confidently, and they are unable to scale beyond themselves. I said, this business that you are going into or that you are into shouldn't be just about you. I'm a freelancer. I'm a designer. This. No, it shouldn't be just about you, bro. Hello? You should be able to build a business, build a system that can accommodate a whole lot of people. Alright? So that's what you're looking at. That's what this model is about. It's going to help you fix all that, put it together, and then you'll be flying. So what are the objectives in this model? By the end of this model, you should be able to close clients without sounding salesy. Don't be a salesy salesman. Salesy CC. No, that's not how we roll. So you can close them professionally without them even knowing that you are closing them. I'll teach you that shortly. Alright, so also you're going to build a simple, repeatable sales system. That's what this model is going to help you do. And then you should be able to package your services as high value solution. Solution. That's what people are looking for. Not objects, not services. Alright? Solution. Transition from freelancer to consultant, and then to agency owner. Right, so we're gonna help you metamorphose, right, from this solo freelancer to the point where you become a consultant. Right, you elicit the aura of a consultant. When they're listening to you, they know they're listening to a consultant, a problem solver. But that is not the end. You want to move this whole thing to the place where you become an agency owner, a business owner. So you are now running the show from the background, having other people working for you, doing the execution and the delivery, all right, while you manage the whole thing. This is what we're trying to create here, okay? 500 professional web designers, or whatever it is that you do, all right, by the end of 2026. And that's achievable. If you're listening to me, you are one of them. Okay, so you want to take this model seriously and go execute. All right, I'm sure you've been doing that all through the other models. All right, so lastly, we're going to create the 90-day post mastery class growth plan. So you're going to see the growth plan, and we're going to hand it over to you. All right, that's what I'm talking about, execution. So you must have been executing, doing the assignment, the practice, all through the other models. And then this 90-day growth plan, we're going to hand over to you. It's going to tie the whole thing together, and boom, ready to fly. All right, so at Mindware, we have a sales philosophy, and that, like I said, I'm handing you the blueprint that we use at Mindware Consulting, the proven system that has worked, that is working. All right, so we have a philosophy, and that philosophy is that we don't sell services. We don't sell website services. We sell outcomes. We paint a picture of the future outcome of the business when they use our services. All right? We don't chase clients. That's not what we do. That's not what pros do. We position as growth partners with their businesses. All right? Positioning. I've talked about it before. All right? And then, of course, we're still going to look into that when we're talking about our sales strategy. We have a 4 key sales strategy. All right? So one of them, of course, is positioning. All right? We're going to talk about that later on in the mastery sessions. Okay? So we position, and with positioning, the clients come already pre-sold. So here we sell by bringing clarity. Sales is about clarity, not persuasion, not trying to convince or confuse or manipulate the client. Right? It's all about clarity, baby. Now, let's look at outcome versus service selling. Most digital entrepreneurs are into selling their service. They're trying to pitch their service. They're trying to sell their service. They're trying to convince somebody about their service. All right? That is the hard way to do it. What you should be doing is presenting outcome. Painting a picture like Michelangelo or Picasso, painting a picture of an outcome. The outcome that the person is going to have, the results, the future state of the person or the business after they have interacted or experienced or used the service. Right? Trust me, they don't need their service. What they desire is their future states that service is going to bring. All right? So we don't say we design websites. We do SEO. See what we say? We help businesses generate consistent leads online. How does that sound? We build digital systems that drive revenue. Come on, think about that as compared to the first two. All right? So this is how you want to present. Same skills, but different positioning. And that brings in higher income. So when we talk about positioning and not just selling, this is what we are looking at. You position by the way you paint a picture right in front of the client. Okay? Now, how do we attract these clients? There are actually 4 models that we use. Okay? 4 models that we use. The first one, authority content. Authority content. That is content creation, content marketing, creating useful, relevant, educative, engaging content. And we'll put on our social handles on Facebook, on Instagram. We have other handles, but we're big on those two. Facebook and LinkedIn. All right, so that's authority content, content creation, content marketing. Okay. Second is free audit. So we do a free audit of their websites. All right, we help them analyze their website, assess their website to see areas that have issues, broken links, right? Shabby websites, inconsistent content, poor branding. So we look at all those things using different tools, okay, and then we offer advice, right? That's why I say you want to be a consultant to offer advice on how they can correct those issues, those pitfalls, those loopholes, both in their website and their Google business profile, right? So, I mean, think of it. When we do that, they are at liberty to go and do it themselves, get someone else to do it, or hire us to do it. All right. Now, if we do that successfully, and the person really want to take advantage of that, want to get someone to do that for you, who do you think the person is going to get to do that? Hey, your guess is as good as mine. So, thirdly, we do free drafts, free website drafts delivered to the client, just to give the client an experience of what his website is going to look like. and then put him through what the website is going to do, not just what the website is going to look like. So he sees what the website is going to look like, and then we intimate him on what the website is going to do for him, what's going to do for his business. So that's free drafts, and then referrals and WhatsApp conversations. So these are the 4 models that we actually use to attract clients. So you don't even need ads to start. All right. We also run ads. That's all. I think one of the sales strategies that we use, client acquisition strategies. All right. We'll be talking about that in the mastery class later on. But then ads is not where you need to start from. Right? What you need is visibility and trust. That's where you need to start with. Okay? So here is the Mindware sales flow. First of all, leads show interest, all right, through our content, through our free audits, through our conversations. So they indicate interest, all right? They indicate interest, and then we jump on a discovery call with them. All right, the discovery call is to understand where they are, understand their business needs, understand their challenges, their pain points, what they are struggling with in their business. So it is called a discovery conversation or a discovery call. Then we diagnose the problem. Hello, that's what consultants do. If you see a medical consultant, you have an issue, all right, in your health, maybe your tooth. You go to a doctor, and he doesn't just start prescribing drugs for you. That's malpractice. Prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. So you don't want to be a malpractitioner. Okay? So you want to first of all diagnose the problem. Don't just say, oh, I'll do a website for you, or I'll do this design for you. No, diagnose the problem. And then present outcome-based offer. So when you have diagnosed the problem, you have understood the problem. So you now present your offer in a way that it provides an outcome, a solution to the problem you have identified that the client is having. And then, of course, you align it with what the client actually desires, and then you go for the close. No pressure, no manipulation, just professional conversation. All right? So this is how we roll. Now, let's talk about the discovery call. Remember I said the first thing you need to do after the client has indicated interest is not to start selling. Relax. Don't be desperate. Jump on a discovery call with the client. And that call is not to sell. Like I said, it's not for selling. The call is for understanding. Understanding the clients. How they think, what they want, where they are, where they're going. Alright? So your job is to listen deeply while they are talking. Listen in between the lines. Don't just be thinking of the next thing to say or the next thing to respond. As a matter of fact, when people think about communication, they don't think about listening as part of communication. Alright? Listening is a very, very integral part of communication. So not just talking. So you listen deeply while the client is talking. When you ask a question, all right, it's called a discovery call. So in that discovery call, you're mostly asking questions. So you're going to see some of those questions to ask shortly. All right, so you listen deeply, you ask the right question. And those questions are outcome-based questions. You are leading the client somewhere based on the information the client is giving to you. So you have to have an understanding of this. All right. So you're not talking like a robot. It's not just something you do with a script. Yeah, you can work with a script. All right, but then it has to be in alignment. All right. That can help you clarify the real problem when you ask the right question. And with that, selling happens naturally after. Selling becomes natural, it becomes spontaneous, not something you are forcing. Right? Now, what are those core discovery questions you need to ask? Number one, how do you currently get clients? So this is the question you ask the client. How do you currently get clients? So they might tell you, okay, it's through referrals. They might tell you, okay, I run ads. They might tell you, I post on social media or whatever. Or people just come. Okay, so with that, you can know the next question to ask. Which of these is not working? Which one is working and which one is not working? I can tell you for free, sometimes you may not even know the one that is working. Alright? So you are now teaching them to know how to measure results, measure actions. Now, another question is, how many leads or projects or clients or contracts or inquiries do you want monthly? How many leads do you want monthly? All right. Now, you can even take it a step further and get them to quantify those leads. If the person says, I want 10 leads, what does that 10 leads mean in monetary terms? All right. Each lead is how much? Maybe $100 or 100,000 naira. All right. Multiplied by 10. What is that? $1 million naira. $1,000. All right. So when he's thinking about you and your service and what you do, he's thinking about the monetary value of what he's getting per month. Hello. Now, another question to ask is, what happens if nothing changes in 6 months? If nothing changes in 6 months, maybe he's not getting enough clients as he would. If nothing changes in 6 months, where would his business be? If you have been able to quantify that, okay, he can get 10 leads per month, and those 10 leads will give him $1,000. And if he continues with what he's doing currently that is not working, that means what he's losing every month is $1,000 or $1 million naira. Can you see that now? Can you see what we mean? All right, so these questions reveal urgency. So it puts urgency into his decision making. Hello? Yeah. So he's not just thinking about spending money on a service or buying a product. He's thinking about what he's going to get. All right. He's thinking about what he's going to get in terms of outcomes. Outcomes from your service or from your product. Are you getting this now? Alright, so let's look at the mindware offer positioning example. Alright, so instead of you saying the website is 500k, rather you say this is a business growth website plus local SEO system designed to help you attract 5 to 10 qualified inquiries monthly. Hello? Monthly. So are you seeing that you offer value first? You package value into what you are presenting and then you offer it before price comes. So you can see in the statement there is no price there. So it's after the client has understood the value before you can now start talking about price. Are you getting that now? Now, why pricing becomes easier? Let's look at how to price. Why it becomes easier when you do it with this model. When clients understand the cost of inaction, all right, remember I said you must have made them to understand what this is going to be bringing them, the solution is going to be bringing them. all right, in terms of monetary value, all right. So when they understand that, they can now begin to quantify the cost of not taking action. If I don't take action on this, that means I'll be losing 10 leads per month or 10 contracts per month. And that means I'll be losing $1,000 per month or ₦1,000,000 per month. Are you getting the gist now? All right. So that helps them to understand the outcome that they are buying. Okay. And that gives them clarity. Clarity for the solution that you offer, the value that you provide. When this is done and done correctly, I can tell you price resistance drops. Okay? Now, this is how we'll close at Mindway. Based on everything you've shared, does this solution align with where you want your business to go? So you ask the client, Mr. Client, based on everything we've discussed, based on everything I shared with you, does this solution align with where you want your business to go? So you ask for alignment, not commitment. All right, you're not asking the client to make any commitment. You're not putting the client under any pressure. You want to know if it aligns with where he wants the business to go. Okay? Now, one thing you have to understand is that there are going to be objections. Right? There will be objections. So you have to know how to handle objections. So let's check out some methods for handling objections. This is how we handle our objections. But first, you have to understand that objections are not rejection. The client is not rejecting you when he objects. The client is actually requesting for clarity. All right? Objection simply means that there are certain things that the client does not understand yet. So you have to provide clarity. And when you're doing that, you need to stay calm, you need to stay curious, and also stay consultative. No pressure. Okay? All right, let's look at some common objections that you may hear from time to time. Number one, it is expensive. So when you hear this kind of objection, what and how do you respond? Compared to the opportunities you are currently missing, how does this feel? Are you seeing that? How does this feel? You want the client to feel what he's going to be missing. If I don't go for this, I'll be missing $1,000 every single month. Wow, that's huge to be missing. So you want him to feel it. You want him to feel it. Feel the loss that he's going to be having by not going for your offer. Okay? So with this, you shift the focus from cost to loss. That's huge. So objection number 2. Some will say, let me think about it. Just give me some time to think about it. And what would you respond? Sure. What specifically would you like to think through? So that's the question that you answer. What specifically would you like to think through? And then when the client lets you know what they'll be thinking through, that actually now gives you an idea of what to work on, of the area that they don't yet have clarity. So you can now provide clarity. All right? So this question helps you to open their real concern. Objection number 3. I've tried this before. It didn't work. So how do you respond? What didn't work last time? Was it the strategy or the execution? Or both? Because sometimes a client may have a strategy, but they execute poorly. So the strategy fails. All right? Or they may have the wrong strategy, But the wrong strategy executed perfectly will still end in failure. So you want to uncover that. What exactly didn't work? And then you can also ask some follow-up questions to uncover which of them is actually the issue. Strategy or execution of the strategy. Alright, so when you do this, you position yourself as a different person, a consultant, not just a salesman or a service provider. Are you seeing how this works now? Okay. Now let's look at your simple sales system. The simple sales system. Remember I said you're building a system. Alright? But you don't need complex tools to do that. What you need to start with your WhatsApp business. That's enough. And then you can have Google Docs to write proposals. Alright? And to create your documents. And then you can have a calendar scheduling for scheduling your discovery calls. Remember I talked about discovery calls. And then you can use Notion. Notion is an AI tool. Or even Google Spreadsheet, the common one for your CRM to collect client details and also store information that you can use for follow-up. This is what I use. Alright? System beats motivation. You need to have a system that delivers results, not just trying to act based on motivation or based on sheer will. So you need to create a system for selling, for closing. Now let's look at your daily sales non-negotiable. Every day you ought to be working on your business. You ought to be doing something about your business. Because like I said, this is a business. Alright, so you make 1 to 2 discovery conversations or discovery calls every day. You do 1 follow-up and then 1 authority posts or message. Alright, so these are the things you ought to be working on every single day. Small actions compound fast. When you take small action, they compound quickly. Alright. Now, this is a growth plan you need to be working on starting now. First, you might be starting as a freelancer. That's okay. But you don't just want to remain a freelancer. Remember, this is a growth plan we're offering you. Right? So you want to move from a freelancer to a digital consultant, a solution provider. And then you want to go to being a micro agency where you now have other people working with you. All right. Delivering the service. All right. While you are managing the whole show. But you don't want to stop there. You want to move to an authority brand, a go-to brand. One that they can equate that solution that the client is seeking, they can equate it with your brand. That's where you want to be, a brand. Alright? Your goal is progression, not perfection. So you take tiny steps every day, you take action every day that can take you from freelancer to authority brand. Alright? Now, how do you want to scale? How do you want to scale? To scale, you handle strategy and sales. So you work on the strategies, you put together the strategies like we've discussed, and then you also do the sales. You handle the conversations. All right? But then you have to delegate the delivery, the designing of the thing, whether it's a web design, graphic design, or video editing, whatever it is, social media marketing, right? You let others do the delivery. And then you have to put SOPs in place. SOPs means standard operating procedures. Put it in place to replace chaos. When you don't have standard operating procedures in place, everything will be chaotic. Everybody will be running around. Alright? So you don't want that. You want to have a blueprint. A modus operandi, how things are done, okay, and in a repeatable way. So this is how you build a business, not a job. You want to have a business, not just a job. All right. So now let's look at a growth plan, your 90-day growth plan after this program. The month 1, you pick one niche. Remember, I've talked about niching down. Very important. So pick your niche, decide on a niche, and then you package one core offer. What is the one core offer you're going to be offering that niche? All right, and then you begin to create and publish authority content weekly. Content that answers their question, content that solves their problem. All right, and then you start making discovery calls. That's month 1. Then month 2, you start offering free audits, free drafts, and all that. And then start doing consistent outreach, whether it's email outreach or cold calling. All right. And then you collect testimonials from those that you have served. Ensure to collect testimonials. What other people say about you is much louder than what you say about yourself, and even more impactful. And then with this, you begin to improve your close rates. All right. Then month 3, raise your prices. All right. As you start getting testimonials, you see that what you're doing is working, producing results. All right. More people are talking about you. You're not getting more clients. Yeah, you can begin to raise your prices. And then you can also start delegating the delivery more and more. All right, to free up more of your time to focus on strategy and sales. Okay, so when you have the system, you now refine it, get it working perfectly. All right, and then you position yourself as an authority brand. So this is the model. All right, so in summary, stop thinking like a freelancer. Yes, you can start as a freelancer, but you don't want to stay a freelancer. Stop thinking like a freelancer. Start thinking like a business owner. Okay? Start thinking like a business owner. Your skills are valuable, but your clarity is powerful. It's not just about skill, it's about clarity. Having clarity of who you serve, and clarity of what you provide for them and the outcome that they want to have. And the time to do that is now. The thing is, you don't have to know everything or do everything. All right? You just need to solve one real problem for one specific market, and boom, you're good to go. That is the game. Okay, so that is it. I want to truly appreciate you for having come thus far. Well, I know that this has really been a game changer for you. But if you do not execute, nothing is going to change. All right, so what you need to do now is go start executing. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.